Smoke.
Boy, Trey, forever, baby.
Boy, 216.
Brian Names, director 70 times 7.
Man, it's your boy, artist.
The girl Tasha's name. Young Laura. Leah. Her name is Sam.
It's Young Spook, one half of Back End Business Podcast.
Aaron, the Gap 2 Diva.
Big stuff.
Are you Milan? Here, Milan.
It's your girl, Flaming Gina.
This Auntie Pig.
Or Lou.
Ebony, aka Ebony with an I. I'm from the Big Head Radio Show, and I'm
With the King Teeth Network, huh?
My name is Shalisa. I'm an actress, a singer, a model from Cleveland, Ohio. Well, actually, do you have time for a little story? So I was living in Grafton Primary Schools for a little bit, and then I came over, to Cleveland, and I started going to a magnet school that had an intergenerational type of program where they took kids from inner cities and they bused them to schools with more funding so they could get a chance to explore the arts and programs and stuff like that. So I'm there in the 3rd grade, and there was this teacher named Miss Price, and she came and she got me for an audition, and she was like, yeah, today I want you to sing this. And it was like London Bridges falling down and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and things like that. And then she gave me instruments and stuff like that. And I just sat there for an hour and maybe 15 minutes just trying things. And then maybe a week later, I was in the choir. I kind of grew up doing it, so I always took it seriously. Because even when I was young, 9, doing the stuff, I never took it for granted. Yeah.
Why not?
It was therapeutic.
Every time?
Every time. I love to create it. It lets me, manifest things, even if it's not in the greatest situations or the greatest environment. The fact that I have the freedom to design a better, present just by thinking and imagining and creating concepts. I can move things. I can make myself better. I can step into those fantasies and bring them into reality, and that's what music, acting, writing, not so much modeling. Modeling was more to help me get over being, shy, but the rest of it is just therapy. Started when I was in the 1st grade. I was going to this school called Waterston Lake, and yeah, it was on the west side in the Denison area, if I remember. And I had this teacher named Mrs. Lake, and she had challenged us to all write a poem for our mother for Mother's Day. And I just remember 3 lines, thinking really hard about what does my mom's eyes remind me of? And I was she sparkled like the candles she light around the house. So I had wrote that your eyes glisten like candlelight. And mind you, I'm in the 1st grade, and I wrote you shine bright as the stars in the sky, things like that. And when my mom read it, she was like, who wrote this? And I was scared because I thought, I don't know, I was intimidated. I don't know, she's my mom. But she's like, who wrote this? And I'm like, I wrote this. And she just looked at me and she stared at me and her mouth just gaped open, and she just said to me, you have a talent. You should write. 1st grade. And then I published my 1st book in the 2nd grade, which was in Grafton, at Grafton Primary Schools.
Golly, in the 2nd grade?
Yeah, but it was a writing program. These schools be having different fundings, depending on where you stay. My mother, pushed me to greater schools, and yes, I took advantage of all programs. Back in those days, we had, and this sounds crazy, but they don't, because they, thank you, but I'm not 20.
She's a grown woman.
I'm an adult. So anyway, back in those days when schools had funding, we had writing classes. Taught us how to do cursive, taught us how to publish books and things. And so we took advantage in this scholastic writing program, and we all had to publish a book. So everybody in that class that year published a book and became a young author. Different plays that led me to a play called O Ye of Little Faith by this lady called Superwoman. And I'm sorry to say this, but everybody knows, including you, knows that the play wasn't the best play. But because I stayed into character, and even when the play was crumbling and the the recession time was way too long, somebody noticed me, and they reached out to me. His name was Troy, and he was like, this is where it became professional. He was like, I want you to audition for something. And I'm like, okay. He was like, this is something that no one's doing. It's just an idea. And this is back on like podcasts and stuff. This was before all that stuff was like really hitting. And this was a web series. This is before that stuff was really even a thing. So he's like, I want you to try out for something. I'm like, okay, whatever. He's like, my guy, he got this company, whatever, I think you'll be great. And I'm like, even though you saw me in this performance, he was like, no, I think you got something. So I'm like, okay, Troy, here I go, I'm gonna go. I show up. They're like, read this script. I'm reading it. I'm doing to me, I'm like, I don't know, I'm nervous. You know, I'm a little bit too animated because, mind you, I grew up doing things on stage. So you have to be more boisterous and more vocal versus when you're doing film, you have to be more natural and just relax. You know, you don't have to project and be grandiose. But he was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna do this web series. I'm like, what's a web series? He's like, it's mini episodes. You know, I wrote this script. His name was Johnny Filmworks. Shout out to Johnny, HWIC Filmworks, and David Snyder. Okay, so he was like, yeah, I want you to be the main character. Mind you, we've never done any of this. This is all innovative. These are all ideas. My first time acting on film. With first time. Like really acting on film. I've done like little 15-minute, you know, little short films and things like that, and been in videos, but just having a full script that I had to learn, that I had to commit, that I had to become. And it was on a whim, and I never did anything like that before in my life. So as the episodes were unfolding, I was shitty. Like, y'all can go watch it, you know, High Girl 1, Tubi TV. I'm not too ashamed to show you where I've grown from. Actually, it should be inspirational. That just shows you that you ain't got to be perfect to start. You just got to be consistent, and you have to show up. So anyway, there I am, failing and shit, and he's giving me constructive criticism, and I'm eating it up, you know. And I'm not taking offense to it. I'm not the person that gets in their emotions and let that hinder them from learning something. Because the only time you're going to learn something is if you get that negative feedback and you grow, okay? So I'm over here like studying, watching movies, trying to figure out how to make make the transition from stage to like film so that I can bring this character to life. And lo and behold, it was paying off. Johnny started, complimenting me. He's like, oh, I don't know how you're doing this. Are you working with somebody? No, I'm just determined to bring forth this character and learn what this is on a whim with no training. I'm getting paid for this stuff. You know what I mean? And then like this really changed my life because even being on Tubi and being on Amazon, people would just come up to me in the masses and be like, you're that girl you're unique, you're Heist Girl, you're Heist Girl. And like I would just be minding my business, not expecting anything, and just groups of people no matter where I am, even in Florida. Even when I was in Florida, people noticed me. People are watching you. So people, if you're out there doing something, don't you get discouraged because you got demons in your life trying to sway you. Don't you fall off your task. Understand that life hurts sometimes, and give yourself room to grieve, but don't you stay down, because had I done so, I wouldn't be where I am today. Ooh, Heist Girl 2, man. If you've watched both, you should know what I'm talking about. I don't know, I just started like somewhere between Heist Girl 1, just getting the feel of a new genre of acting, and then Heist Girl 2 being a seasoned actress, having done other things in between, and then coming back, and I had to learn how to just sit with people and absorb them. So I put myself in situations like I put myself in situations just so I could observe the people, so I could take in their mannerisms in case I had to audition for a role that was similar to their personality or situation, and I could pull from that. Or I would take from something that I've actually been through and pull from that. And once I learned how to do that, I don't know, like it's just different. Like I'm not perfect, but people say I'm good though. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll with that. Thanks.
What was your favorite moment?
Heist Girl 1, it had to be hands down the sex scene. It was the most challenging. It was was challenging, but you know what? There was other moments there, but that was the most prevalent one that came to memory. And High School 2, the most challenging moment. I want to say fighting my friend in the scene where we knock over my dad's coffin. That was pretty cool because it's like we had to go at each other even though we just got done busting out laughing. I play Brittany Mady's best friend, so I'm like a main character, but I'm her best friend, so I'm on her side, and I really can't tell y'all everything, but oh my God, fighting, oh, I can't tell y'all. Discovering my purpose, even though I'm walking in my path, because I feel it. I get to discover something different, something new. I get to walk in it, live in it, create it every day, and it makes me feel good just to get up. And the fact that no matter what I'm going through, as long as I keep my, my main principles throughout the day, then I'm straight. Like, I'll be all right the next day. It's just like, I don't know. My purpose is to like inspire people and to help people and things like that. And when I do that, it makes me feel good, even on my worst day. So that's my inspiration. I gotta get up in the morning.
What's your goal in all of this?
To show people that no matter what your circumstance is in life, like, you can overcome. I am rooting for the underdog. You know what? Without even getting into my deepest stories. Okay, I'm a high school dropout. I had a baby at 16. She'll be graduating from high school next year.
Come on, she about to drop the gem. You ain't this well put together after.
I raised them children as a single mother, so I am a statistic, no father in the house. But I didn't let any of that define me, nor did I let that break me. I went and I pursued my education. I got my GED. Then I went further and I pursued my education, and I got my nursing degree. I've been a nurse for 12 years. And I still do what I do here. The reason that I'm here in front of your camera today, I still do that. Because I believe in my purpose. And if I say that I believe in inspiring people, then I gotta walk a mile in the underdog's shoes. And unfortunately, God gave me that path, but fortunately for me, He knew that I was strong enough to take it. So, anything else?
Now we have
Sacrificing my time. I want to say this lightly, like I had to sacrifice my time with loved ones to be on set, or my birthday, or like work double shifts just so I could show up the next day on like no hour, 2 days, no sleep. But I'm running off of inspiration. I'm running off of like, I don't know, man. It's passion. I'm running off of passion.
and where can they find you one more time?
Man, I'm sorry. Things just got so deep. At Jalisa Sings, all things. At JALISHASINGS. Or you can Google me at Jalisa Johnson. That is JALISHA JOHNSON. You should find my movies, my music. I don't know. Just have at it. Let me know what you think. No. The minute you start letting somebody influence you to the point where you're non-productive is where you stop growing. So don't do that, because your purpose, as long as you wake up every day, is to make change. And how you gonna do that? You gotta grow. So how you gonna do that? Channel your energies in the right places so you have energy to grow. I need to be powered so I can empower. So if I'm gonna inspire people, then I need energy, and I need my focus to be in the right place. If I'm in a bad place, or I'm letting somebody hurt me, or I'm not focused, and I'm not living in my purpose, then I might snap on somebody that day instead of give them words of encouragement. I might have missed my blessing that day because I wasn't being a blessing. You know, just think before you act, think before you talk, because you just don't know. Everybody go through something. Just remember that you ain't the only one. Don't be so self-absorbed. Hi, you guys. Kinsman County Records. The first song I think I ever like really wrote and recorded. I was like in the 6th grade, so I had to be like maybe 13, maybe, I don't even know, around that age. And I remember it because it was over the. Do you want me to stop?
No.
Okay. it was over the Little Flips Game Over beat. And I'm gonna sing a little bit of it. This is like, again, I was 13 when I wrote this, but I remember it. So it was like, you know, just think of this beat. Game over, flip, flip, dun, 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 dun. Okay, now here I go. Dun, 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 dun. Stepping in the club, looking so sexy. I look up, and what did I see? Haters, so I brush them off of me. Not one or two, it was more like three. Look to the left, there you were nicely dressed. So I got up and introduced myself. The next thing I know, hoes on my tips, so I had to check this chick. Straight off, drip, drip, drip. Talking so much, ain't saying nothing. So I brushed her off and kept on walking. Talking so much, ain't saying nothing. So I brushed her off and kept on walking. Haters, why you gotta be this way? You can't stop me, you can't sway me from my path. You can't slow me down. Haters, why you gotta be this way? You can't stop me, you can't sway me from my path. You can't slow me down.
Okay.
I got carried away, no. But I appreciate being on this show. I really enjoyed myself. And you ask some very deep, you know, questions. It's not like everybody else. Everybody else was like real cliche with the stuff. Like, I feel like you really were trying to get to know me, and it felt very personal, and I like the feel of that.
Thank you.
So keep that up. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want you back. I actually need you back. This is not the actual official. We've had some technical difficulties today, but I wanted to make sure you were beautiful.
Well, thank you.
And I get some content with you.
I appreciate
and I
that.
really want you to come back, because I'm gonna have to finesse this one a little bit differently. I want the clean cut double duo how I like it.
Absolutely, because then when I come back, I can talk about my stuff that I've done, which should be the movie, the music, yeah. Oh, new single coming out, you guys, pretty soon, Girl on Girl thing. I just shot the cover for it, so check out the behind the scenes on my page. Again, that's at Jalisa Sings. I'm on the King TV Network at JALISHASINGS. Make sure you follow me, turn on your post notifications, and you have a blessed and prosperous evening.
Thank you. It's been the King TV Network. This is a little bit different, but we've been here.